Hello, everybody, and welcome to this very special episode of Dawncasting. This is a tutorial for the Steam launch in 2026. I did a bunch of tutorial videos almost a year and a half, 2 years ago now. I think those are a little bit dated. So I wanted to give all of you newcomers joining us on the Steam release a brand new tutorial video. I will show you how the game is played, how the mechanics work, and just kind of do one full run with the Hunter class to help you get to grips with everything this game has to offer. It's a very complex game. It can be a very difficult game, but if you watch this video, I will say your skill level will jump from like the what the hell is going on level to the I think I get this level, okay? We're going to do that at first big jump. So let's go right into it. We're going new game. We're going to take the Hunter. As you see, I've reset the progress of the Hunter, so I will be playing the class as it is when you freshly download the game. Select the class, take the default portrait. We're going to take the hatchet as our starting weapon. So Dawncaster always have a starting weapon, a starting card, and a weapon talent, and those will kind of define how you're going to build your class. You don't have to strictly stick to this, but it kind of like guides it in a certain direction that you're then incentivized to follow. So we're taking the hatchet. What does the hatchet do? It costs 1 energy, which is this thing you can see up here. Let me actually quickly move myself over here just so you can see the full card. So it costs 1 generic energy, it deals 2 damage, and it has this ability called flanking. Now flanking is a keyword. What the keyword is explained up here in the middle. It says flanking triggers when this card is played from either the leftmost, the rightmost position in hand. When an ability like flanking is enabled, the card will light up green. We'll see that later in the game. Let's go back over here. So I'm going to select that. I'm going to take the feral weapon. So this says use your weapon power to start next combat with a fury. Fury is this card. It says here gain 1 anger, take 1 damage, draw a card. Anger basically every point of anger means your abilities do 1 more damage per point. So 5 anger to do 5 extra damage, etc. And its passive is gain 1 regenerate for every 3rd hit. So every 3rd hit you do to your opponent, you'll gain a regenerate. What does regenerate do? The start of turn, you gain 1 health per stack of regenerate. So it helps you sustain as well as do more damage. So we're going to select that. And then we're going to take feral strike. So this is going to be our starting card. It says make a basic attack and frenzy, gain anger for every attack that hit. What is frenzy? Frenzy is active when you've done damage to yourself during your turn. What does damage to yourself during your turn? The card anger. Gain 1 anger, take 1 damage. Synergy, right? It's all coming together already. So we're going to take that. We're going to play normal difficulty. You should be playing on normal when you start. Do not jump into the other ones yet, I'd say, until you've got a bit of a grasp of the game. We're going to start on normal. I believe with the current version of Steam, when you turn on the game, all of these will be deactivated and only Core and Core Extended will be activated. These are all the separate card packs that have been added to the game over the course of the last few years. If you turn them all on and do your very first run, I'm going to say you're going to be completely overwhelmed. There's going to be tons of keywords, tons of cards that seem like they have no synergy. There's going to be way too much going on for you to understand, and you will probably get frustrated. So the number one tip I give every new player, make sure these are all off for your first few runs. You can just get to grips with the fundamentals of the game that are all in Core and Extended, okay? So just only Core, only Extended. You do not need more to beat the game on normal. You actually don't need any card pack to beat the game on any difficulty. They just add new things. They don't make you like better necessarily. So we're going to save these settings. And then I'm just going to be playing the core level. So when you buy this game on Steam, it comes with all the DLCs. So you have all of the additional starting levels. So here, the Graveyard, the Sunfall Meadows. I'm going to stick to what are traditionally called the core levels, which are the first levels that the game had when it released. They are a little bit easier than the levels that got added later in the DLC in general. So let's stick to those for now. You can pick a randomly generated name here or add your own. I'm just going to call her Sarah Biggins. Very good. We're going to start the game. So there is a little tutorial you can do at the start, and I'm just going to say this for myself, I'm going to give you an even better tutorial than the one that's in the game. So we're going to skip this. Okay, game's loaded in. How does this work? If you've played a game like Slay the Spire or anything similar, you're going to recognize a few things. Rather than in a game like Slay the Spire, however, where you have a map that branches, here you have what's called an event deck. This is this deck at the top left, up there. And at the beginning, every time you finish one of these events, the deck gets shuffled and 3 new events are dealt out. You do not need to do all of the events. You don't need to fight all the opponents that are shown. You can skip a lot of stuff. You just have to hit certain story beats to progress to the next Canto. That's like the level, like the map. So what we see here, we have an enemy, a shrine, and another enemy. We can now choose from these 3 what we want to do. Let's start off by fighting one of the enemies. Before I do that, I'm going to activate my weapon power at the bottom right here. So this is Feral Weapon. Use your weapon power to start next combat with a Fury. So I'm going to turn that on. See, it has a 2. That means in 2 combats, I can use it again. I'm going to fight this boar. So it's going to load us in. I've got my passive here that I obtained from my weapon talent at the start when I took it, right? It says use your weapon power to start next combat with a Fury. And my passive is this, gain 1 regenerate in every 3rd hit. So that is this, right? So in my hand, I have this Fury that I got from my weapon talent, and I have my hatchets. As you can see, this one is green and these 2 are like yellow. The green one means that the condition, in this case, the flanking is being met. So if I play this card now, it will do whatever the flanking says. So it says it will attack again. So I'm going to play this and it'll do boop, boop. See, it hits twice, right? Cool. What we really want to do is play this Fury and get a point of anger. So the anger show up here. This is a blessing. This is green. So now we have 1 point of anger. That means our attacks are now doing 1 more damage. See how it says deal 3 damage now? So this boom, boom, and now it'll do 3 damage twice. I'm out of energy at the bottom here. So I'm just going to pass my turn, pass the opponent, and they now take their turn. And they're going to play their 2 cards up here, right? Or only 1 card. I guess they don't have more energy than that. You can see what cards your opponent is holding up here at the left and how much energy they have here. This will not tell you exactly what cards they have, but this red thing means that it is a melee attack with the sword. This means it's some kind of like status buffing effect. Then there's also like a red bow and arrow, which is a ranged attack. There's one that's a little fire, that's a magic attack. And then there's ones with like that are black with a red skull. And those are deadly attacks. So those are like super powerful signature moves that some opponents, mainly boss opponents, have. I'm also going to quickly turn up the card animations just so we can get through this a little bit quicker. So I'll play my hatchet, and my hatchet. And you see we just kind of shredded right through the opponent there. Really, really nice. So post-combat, you get experience, you can hit continue, and you are offered 3 cards. You can pick one, but in many, many, many cases, the best thing to do is just to click X and not take any of them. You don't want to stuff your deck with too many things, right? Okay. If you have too many bad cards in your deck or mediocre cards, you have a lower chance of finding the things you really want. So the deck has now been reshuffled. We have 3 new events. We have 2 opportunities at a campsite. Opportunities are very unique, where if you do not pick them, they are removed from the deck. Everything else is just shuffled back in. Opportunities will go poof. Opportunities can be good or bad. They tend to be good, but there are a few that are just straight up bad for you. I'm just going to take this one on the left here, and you're going to see how the one on the right is going to kind of go like poof. It's going to Thanos snapped, right? Poof. You see how it disappeared? That means it did not get shuffled back into the deck. So in here, we just find a small fortune. We find a little bit of gold. That's quite nice. Oh, we get the same thing again, 2 opportunities in a campsite. I'm going to click on another opportunity. What do we get? Oh, we get ambushed. Great. So this is like one of the more negative ones, right? However, it can also be good because obviously you're getting more XP and you get to fight a bit more. I can also show you something here. If I play these blocks, I gain 3 armor. Armor, you just take 1 less damage per stack of armor, and it fades at the start of turn. So opponent's going to gain 1 anger, do a bit of damage to us, and then the armor that we had left over fades. I'm just going to whack them with my hatchets here. As you can see, we're gathering regenerate. So I now have 2 regenerate. That means at the start of my turn, I'm going to gain 2 health back. You'll see the health gain at the bottom left here. Yeah, cool. And now let's try and take this piggy down. Very good. So what did we find? Hidden weapon, vampirism, brace for impact. I'm fine to skip these. So our weapon power is back off cooldown. That's a good time too, because here's one of the mini bosses. You can tell they're a mini boss by this little angry skull here. And this guy also has a aura. So I'm gonna turn on my weapon effect. This aura means that this will apply to all enemies that are currently active. So if I decide to fight the spider instead of the tusk boar, the spider will receive this guy's like this guy's like blessing or aura thing. What this does at the start of turn, oh sorry, at the start of turn, a corrupted Tuskboar will gain a point of anger. So he's basically scaling his anger. The longer the fight goes, the worse it is for us. So here I'm going to play my Fury, and I'm also going to get a point of anger. As you will see, this has now made this card light up green. So this is our starting card that we took, right? Feral Strike says make a basic attack. So our basic attack is this Hatchet. And then because we have triggered Frenzy, which is when we take damage during our turn, which we did because we played this Fury over here. By the way, you can show the cards already played this combat by clicking on your opponent, and then you can click here. We've now triggered Frenzy, so it will gain anger for every attack that hit. So I'm going to make sure that I play this from the flanking position, because these are basic attacks of flanking. This is making a basic attack. So now hit twice. It's hit twice and gain anger for every attack that hit. I now have 3 anger, 1 from the Fury, 2 from the 2 hits I made. It's now all my attacks are dealing 3 more damage per hit, and technically they're actually dealing 6 because they're hitting twice, right? So it's applying the anger bonus twice, which is really, really good. As you can see, we've also now have an affliction placed on us, which is in this case bleeding from this opponent's skewer, which on hit afflict 1 bleeding. Tons of different afflictions in general. Blessings have this like green hue, afflictions have this red hue, right? That's kind of what you're looking at. We're just gonna try and kill this guy. We can just do that here pretty easily and then move on with our lives. Victory. Okay, interesting. On second Feral Strikes, I'm probably fine to skip. In general, with this kind of build, we want stuff that boosts our basic attacks. We might want to upgrade them later, get like, there's a blacksmith in the game that can add base damage to them. So, sorry, I'm just coming down from a flu while I'm recording this. Deck has been reshuffled. It's been dealt out again. Now we have 2 enemies and we have a shrine. Shrines are a bunch of different ones. They all have different colors. They all do different things. What they do, you sometimes have to figure out by trial and error. I'm going to click on this one and see what it does. This one says it will transform a card. So transforming means it will convert a card into another one. So we can, it's random though. So we're going to hit transform a card. I'm going to give it this block because I don't want these in my deck anyhow. I'm going to see what it gives me. It gives me 2 potions I can choose from and a sharpening stone. I'm gonna take the sharpening stone. It's 1 use, upgrade the next basic attack you play by 2. That's really cool. Like I said, if we want to upgrade our basic attacks, that's a great card to find. I can now upgrade 1 of my axes by 2, meaning it'll permanently do 2 more damage. So the way I do that, I play the sharpening stone, gets applied here, 1 use, upgrade the next basic attack you play by 2, and I'll just play 1 of these, doesn't really matter which. And you can see here, poof, it's been upgraded. So now if I go into my deck here, I can see it's now dealing 4 damage at base rather than 2. So that's really cool. Yeah, and obviously we scale really, really well with increasing the damage of our basic attacks because we strike multiple times. So every additional point of damage you add to your basic attack is essentially 2 points of damage, if that makes sense. By the way, these surges, pretty neat to have at the beginning of the run. We're probably going to get rid of these later. Let me show you another little trick here. So these cards here all cost generic energy, right? They all cost this little silver thing. As a hunter, we're dual energy class. We have green and red energy. There are some cards that will cost either green or red, or they have green red, so you can spend either or. If you want to choose and pick a specific type of energy to spend, if you pick up a card and you move it across the screen, can you see how the energy is changing? So now the game's like, do you want to spend green energy on it, or do you want to spend red energy on it, right? So depending which one you want to spend, I want to spend red energy, so I'm going to do that. Right now it doesn't matter because all our cards are generic cost, but there are other cards then where this will matter. So for instance, this one here is a red cost one, so you have to spend red energy, and this one is red or green, so you can spend either or on it. So don't want any of those, and I'll pass. I'll fire my weapon power again. Again, we're trying to prioritize the opportunities as well because they disappear if we do not take them. Okay, so here, Windy Hillock. So there's a Howling Wind. I'm going to find Shelter. I'm going to raise my shield for additional Shelter, and that's going to remove my other block from my deck, which is good. In general, you want to remove the blocks as quickly as you can. They don't really do too much. Okay, so I'll play the Surge. This gives me 1 green energy and conjures a basic attack. I'll play my Fury, and then I'm just going to swing out at this opponent. And almost get the dead turn 1. Not bad. So our opponent has applied bleeding and poison to us. What these all do, by the way, if you just click on them, it'll explain how they work. Sometimes it can just be a little bit of trial and error to get like a feel for them. But in general, yeah, red bad, green good. You know what, I'm going to take the Siphoning Strike. This deals 6 damage when I have Frenzy, gain 10% of your maximum health. So this is a great little way to keep yourself sustained, especially in the early game. Especially in a build like ours that has access to Furies, where we can hurt ourselves to trigger the Frenzy condition. So let's do Hatchet, Feral Strike, Hatchet, Hatchet. Cool. Ouch. Ouch. So we take 1 bleeding. Bleeding is basically just for each stack of bleeding, you take an additional damage. Is how it works. So if we have 1 bleeding, our next opponent's attack will do as much damage as it does, plus 1. And then the stacks of bleeding reduce by 1. So Hatchet, very nice. Okay, so we have our first level up. So what do we pick here? we're always initially offered 3. However, unlike with the cards, you can re-roll these a certain amount of times. You just click on that little thing. So I have 1 re-roll remaining. Strength in numbers is extremely good. I'm going to take Anger Management, though, which says whenever you play a Fury card, gain 3 life. At the start of combat, add a Fury to your discard pile. This is going to synergize well with the Fury cards we already have, and also help us sustain a little bit off of them. Trophy Shaw is not bad. I think I'm going to take this card. I'm like not super interested in Trophy Shaw itself, but as you can see, do you see these little colors here? This is the rarity of the card. So these are common brown, then uncommon is green. This is a rare blue, and then there's legendary, which is orange on top of that. I can take this card. I can later try and convert it into a higher up card with transmuting. I'll show you how that works once we get to the next Canto, which is where we can start doing that. Okay, this is just a story event. The blue colored events there are story events. So you kind of have to do those just to progress the Canto, but most other things are optional. You can even skip a ton of the mini bosses if you want to. So here, fire that off. Got some good flanking hits in on this guy. So by the way, this opponent has this thing called First Strike, which means they attack first in combat. So usually when you enter a fight, you probably have noticed you get to go first. When you're fighting an opponent that is First Strike, they get to start. There are quite a few of those in the game, actually. So Reconnaissance, Devour Vitality. This is actually a really, really, really good card. Determination would be pretty good to get later, though. You know what? I'm going to take this Reconnaissance card, okay? I can kind of show you how foretelling an ambush works. Ambush is basically just if you play the card as the very first card in your turn, it has an additional effect. So you see how it's lighting up green? So if I play this, it'll let me foretell 5. What does foretell 5 mean? It means I get to look 5 cards deep into my deck and then reorder them, basically. So I play this, so I can pick one of these and put it in my hand. I'm going to take this hatchet. This is the one that we upgraded earlier. You can see by the higher damage, but it also appears as upgrades +2, right? So if I click on one of these, it has no upgrades. And also the name has turned to yellow, which means it's been upgraded. So I'm going to place on top, and it'll also draw me that card because that is the ambush condition that it not only foretells 5, but it draws a card. And then I'm going to play that and play another hatchet and pass the turn. Our poison lobs some poison on us. Let's see, I'll play this Surge. So here, this Siphoning Strike, now I have Frenzy because I took 1 damage from our opponent's poison there. So if I play this, you'll see at the bottom left, boom, I get sustained a little bit. Really, really nice. Really good card for just sustaining at the start of the game, especially. Assassinate, Heavy Swing. Heavy Swing is kind of cool later on in the game and we can generate a bit more energy. I might actually take this Adrenaline, discard a card that gain 3 green. That's pretty okay for energy generation at the start. Okay, so we found our first boss, the Weeping Mother. Before I fight her, I'm going to use one of these campsites. So the lower your difficulty, the more campsites there are. At a campsite, you can either remove a card or you can heal 20% by resting. So I'm going to use some of these campsites just to get rid of a bit of stuff. I don't really want this green Surge. And I'm also fine removing one of these basic attacks. So let's remove one of the ones that is not upgraded, of course, if we can. And let's fight her. So she has a new card type here. This is the Deadly Attack, right? So most bosses have one of these. They all do something different. In her case, it's just a super powerful attack that also does something called Interrupting, which means it knocks your energy off of you, basically, if you're trying to save any. So I'll play this. I'll draw here. Play my Fury. I'll discard a card. Play Feral Strikes. Get some anger there. Very nice. Hit her a bunch. She's already half dead. Amazing. I'm going to pass. So she's going to play her cards, poison us a bit, interrupt us. And she also has this passive effect, by the way. This is always worth checking. Tons of opponents have enchantments up here. She has this passive that says Webbing, inflict 4 days at the start of turn. That means we can always play 4 cards and then we get stunned. So we only get to play 4 cards per turn when we're fighting her. It doesn't really matter. I mean, we only have 2 energy. It's not really like we can play that many. But some builds that are a bit more spam heavy than this one, that can really, really destroy their life. So I could actually execute her here. Execute basically just means if you kill them with this card, you get some special benefit. Play this, I'll execute her, boom, and I gain a bit of life on the way out, which is really, really nice. Nothing too interesting here. I'm just gonna pass. Explore the area some more, just make sure we did everything that we wanted to. We're gonna leave the area. So this will take us to Canto 2, which is Bright Candle. You get to go to Bright Candle twice. It's just this little like town in the middle where you can stock up on health and buy cards and stuff like that. So again, these blue things are the story things you have to click on to progress the story. So I'm going to click on her. If you want to read all this, do in your own time, fine. I'm just going to skip through them. Some of them force you to make choices that do have consequences. At the beginning, not so much though. So Blacksmith, this is one of the first NPCs. He will always be with you. There's no way to get rid of him. He's always with you. You can do 3 things: upgrade a card, remove a basic attack, or upgrade all your basic attacks. I'm going to pay 50 gold to upgrade all their basic attacks because we are playing a basic attack build. Then I can go to the Alchemist. You can do 3 things. You can either buy a potion, pay 20 gold to side transmute a card. That means, let's say, transmute a blue rarity card to another blue rarity card, or if you have 35 gold, you can change a card to one of higher rarities. That means like a blue rarity to an orange rarity. In this case, we don't even have 35 gold, so I'm going to do this. I'm going to take Trophy Shot, and then she'll offer me 3 cards. Okay, what do I take here? I'm going to try and take Devour Vitality. So this deals 8 damage. If I execute the opponent, I permanently take some of their health as my own maximum health. Really, really good card for scaling to the late game because you can really boost your maximum health. Oh, one other thing you can do here. You can go to the inn and you can also pay here, just heal. This is basically just additional campfires. If you can avoid that, do it. It's better to keep your money for other stuff, but sometimes you might need it. So again, we're running all the core levels. You see core here. These are from Tribes of Twilight, Massive Misery. We're just going to try and stick to the core levels for now. That's probably the best thing to do when you're starting the game, as these are a little bit more straightforward in terms of what is expected of you to defeat their challenges. So again, always do your opportunities first. You know what? I'm going to put a card in the sigil. By the way, what these opportunities do, there are so many. You really just have to trial and error them. You can technically look them all up on Blightbane, but just see what happens. I'm going to put a card in the sigil here. Just going to add a random keyword. We got a bad keyword. We got unplayable. So we just absolutely ruined that card. Oops, happens. Oh, this is a good one though. Wounded Animal. So, I have a special thing I can do with this. So some classes have a special interaction with certain opportunities. Here I'm a hunter. I can kill and skin the animal. So you skin the animal, blah, blah, blah. And I get hide armor. So I go here and look at my talents. What is hide armor? At the start of combat, gain 1 evasion. That's really good. So evasion basically means that instead of taking damage from the next melee attack, it will instead get blocked by the evasion, which is really, really helpful. So I'm super happy about that. So I'm going to foretell. I'm going to do this. I'm going to discard this Siphoning Strike to get a bit more energy. I'm gonna, oh yeah, this is the unplayable one. I can't play it. So this is the evasion, by the way. When dealt melee damage, reduce the first damage taken to 0 and then reduce evasion by 1. So this guy's gonna swing out with the melee attack. Boom, 0 damage taken. Really, really helpful. But now it's gone again, of course. So reconnaissance. I'm just gonna get this hatchet. Swing out at this guy. Yeah, see, with these upgraded hatchets with the anger, we're already like doing crazy damage to our opponents. Nothing super interesting here. This Cloak and Dagger card I usually quite like. It's not very good with flanking cards though, because it is persistent, which means it doesn't get discarded at the end of turn. And obviously a flanking deck, you want your left and most sides to always be open so you can play the flanking cards. But if this card is stuck in your hand, your leftmost side of your hand will always be blocked off by it. So it's not really good in builds like this. Opportunity. Ooh, we ran into the Collector. So the Collector is quite fun because we can give him cards, and the rarer the card is, the better the rewards. I'll give him the unplayable basic attack because I need to get rid of it anyhow. So it's rather plain looking, no, nothing too special. He'll give me some gold and a health potion. That's fun. And he will now reappear in later Cantos as well. So what we can basically do is store up rare cards that we don't necessarily want to use just to give to him. So hatchet, 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 hatchet. Oh yeah, and I think I mentioned earlier, right? You can see how much energy your opponent has here in the middle. So this is very faintly red. That's how much they're going to have next turn. If it's solid red, like mine down here, that's how much they currently have. So let me discard the Siphoning Strike. Oops. Discard card and Feral Strike. Boop, and pass. So can we execute him here with the Devour Vitality? I think we can. Boom. So you see, I got +1 health there. That's +1 maximum health. So that's now permanently with me. Oh, incredible. Battle Cry. This is probably my favorite card in the game. Every time you see Battle Cry, you take it. That's my rule of thumb. Don't diss the Battle Cry. Oh, so here's another opponent with First Strike. So this creature attacks first in combat. Now I'm going to fight him, so you're going to see, before I even get to do anything, this guy's going to take his turn, right? Get some evasion, and then pass. So normally that doesn't happen, obviously, but that's just how the flanking opponents work. I'm going to take this adrenaline. I'm going to discard this healing potion because I just don't need it right now. My health is all fine. Play my hatchet. So by the way, what does Battlecry do? It is a free card that says gain red energy and rally. And then if you've triggered the frenzy condition, again, taking damage during your turn, you also get to draw a card. And this card has charges. So charges mean you can only play it like X amount of times per combat. So you can only play this card twice per combat before it gets removed until the end of combat. You get it back next fight. Like, don't worry about that. It'll be back. But yeah, it's gone for that combat. Sickum. Okay, the opponent just put a card in our deck. They put this little raven in our deck. Don't worry about that stuff either. For the most part, those cards will disappear again at the end of combat. So that was just a temporary little nasty card that he put in our deck. What that basically means is you draw the card and it has some kind of downside for you. So again, prioritizing all of our opportunities. Oh, Axe in the Stone. Unfortunately, we're not strong enough to tear it from the stone. However, if you were potentially playing something like a warrior, you could give that a go. Ooh, Shrine of Power. We can offer a card here. Is there something I want to get rid of? I'm actually fine with the cards we have right now. I don't want to. Opportunity, golden box. Oh, this is cool. So I'm going to take the gold here. This is not giving me 50 gold. However, as a punishment, we were given a sin, a greed, a corrupted action. It's unplayable. When drawn, you take 1 damage for every card in your hand. So this is just all downside. However, we got 50 gold for it. Now, let me show you another little trick. If you go to the Alchemist and you hit 35 gold, change a card to one of higher rarity, and you give them a sin. So there's all 7 sins. There's sloth, greed, what are they all called? Wrath, lust, all of them, right? So we're going to select the card. It's going to transmute it and it'll offer us something else. And now we can take something else. My favorite card to always take is this one, Sanguine Scrying. It draws you 2 cards and it gives you 2 bleeding. It also costs 3 life to cast. So you do a lot of damage to yourself. You basically get to draw 2 cards like for free. I love this card. It's so good. It's so good. It's especially good in decks like this where we want to trigger our frenzy condition, right? Hurt ourselves during our turn. So we can kind of turn that downside of taking damage into real upside, which is really sweet. So I'm going to play this and you're going to see how this Battlecry is currently yellow? I'm going to play the Sanguine Scrying. Boom. See how it's now going green? That's because I triggered the frenzy condition. Boom. So I'm going to play that. Hit you. Hit you. Just smack this guy with a bunch of hatchets. Oh, wow. Turn 1 kill. Yeah, we're already pumping damage. That's great. Okay, so Duplicity, not really interested. Endless Arsenal is okay. Headhunter's okay. I'm going to take Slaughter. Gain +1 maximum health whenever you defeat a foe. Because they were still pretty early in the game, we have a lot of fights ahead of us. So there's still going to be many opponents we can kill and gain a lot of maximum health. So here's another opponent with a an aura. Again, this is Enraged, gain 1 anger. So it's just like the boar in the last Canto. Matriarch Daisy. She also has this other ability here. Again, always check these enchantments. These can be so devastating. This one is at the start of your turn, dispel a blessing from your foe. So we right now have evasion and anger. I'll just play my turn out here. Oh, we also have Rally now, which is another healing ability. At the start of my turn, one of these is going to get randomly deleted by Daisy. So I'm going to pass here. And then one of these. Okay, she dispelled the anger randomly. Happens. So I want to try and execute her here. So I'm going to play my Surge, play my Fury. If I play this, she'll have 11. If I play this, she'll have... Oh, I see. Yeah, she's blocking her damage with her Blood Howl. So this will exactly kill her though. Boom. Yeah, we got +2 maximum health plus another one from the talent we just picked up earlier. So we're gaining tons of maximum health. Super strong in the long run. Shrine of Potential, anything we want to get rid of now? Nothing's really changed, right? We can just leave that. Otherwise, that would be a great place. Like if we still hit that greed, we could just feed the greed to that shrine and just be rid of it. By the way, so these smaller dogs also have the same Bloodsin thing where they're constantly dispelling your abilities. Really annoying. Do Hatchet. I'm gonna draw. Do Feral Strikes. Battle Cry. Adrenaline on the healing potion because I don't want to use it yet. Hit you with another Hatchet. So there, our evasion got dispelled, which is a bit of a shame. Hatchet, and then Devour Vitality. Again, if we can always kill our opponent with Devour Vitality, we're gonna get more and more maximum health. Feels really good. So, Talking Tree, you hear a faint mumbling coming from a nearby tree. So, this is a story event where you get the opportunity to unlock the merchant by cutting open the ropes. So, the merchant will now deal your party, and that means basically usually like once per canto, you can go to the merchant and he will offer you cards that you can buy, which is really, really nifty. So, the cost scales off of rarity. So, these are all common. Besides, this one is a legendary. It costs 100 rather than 10. You can refresh the stock once, and then he'll show you another batch of cards. I'm not super excited by any of these, so I'm just going to close out. Again, you don't have to buy anything. Blacksmith, really good though, because here we can upgrade all your basic attacks. Very good. And we'll activate our weapon power twice. There are some weapon powers like ours that you can activate twice, and you see now we also have 2 Furies, which is really, really neat. Someone's crying. Battle cry. Fury. Fury. So how do we do this? Smack, smack, smack. Smack, smack, smack. Oh, I spent all my green energy. Yeah, so see, now I can't play this anymore because I accidentally spent all my green energy. I actually wanted to use this to discard the Siphoning Strike to play my other 2 hatchets. I think I could have killed him last turn, but yeah, damn. My bad. Silver Reconnaissance again. I'll take this Sanguine Scrying. I love Sanguine Scrying. Play my Fury. Okay, now I'm going to play this first, get rid of this healing potion, hit you like that, and then execute him again with Devour Vitality and gain a bunch of maximum health. Really, really cool. Dash, also a great card that I actually love. Gain 1 evasion. If you have Ambush, you gain 2 green energy. So now we have 2 ambush cards. So they can now start competing with each other a little bit, because in one given turn, you can't activate more than 1 ambush, right? Because ambush is always the first card that you play. So if we draw them in different hands, it's fine. But if they're both in the same hand, we're going to have to make a choice which ambush condition we want to fulfill. So I'll discard that, hit you with this, draw here. Siphoning Strike, that's great. Boom. Boom. Burning and vulnerable. Vulnerable basically means we take more damage from our opponent's attacks, and burning just as 1 per stack of burning, we take that much damage at the end of turn. So I'm just gonna kill this guy, it's fine. I'll still get at maximum health from the Slaughter Talon we took earlier. This combat, your melee attacks inflict 1 bleeding. That's actually kind of interesting. So I'm going to take this. This is also a different kind of card. This is an enchantment, so I can kind of show you how those work. Before I fight this boss, I'm going to rest up a little bit, and I'm going to fight him. So I'll show you how enchantments work. You know, I keep on saying check your opponent's enchantments. Enchantments are basically cards that are like affixed to you for the rest of that combat. So I'm going to play this, and boom, it's just going to show up here. So for the rest of this combat, my melee attacks are going to inflict 1 bleeding. So I can just do, yeah, hit you with that, hit you with that, hit you with that. Yeah, making this guy bleed all over the place. So my evasion's gonna dodge the first attack, and then he's gonna hit us pretty hard. And then let's Reconnaissance. Sanguine Scrying, love Sanguine Scrying. Hatchet. Okay, so we're gonna take a few hits here, I think. Oh yeah, so this opponent, boss, he can like summon potions. So he can pull some really random stuff out of his ass. So let's see, hatchet, and then execute, boosh. So we get another bunch of maximum health. Really, really nice. Inflict 2 poison whenever you inflict bleeding. Well, that actually would synergize quite nicely with our Carnage, right? Because your melee effects inflict 1 bleeding whenever you inflict bleeding to inflict 2 poison. I'll take that. We can maybe create some kind of like poison build out of this in the end, which would be really cool. Lucky hit. Here you get to make a choice as well. I'm just going to finish him. You can address the remaining bandits. You can either make them all work for you now or invite them back as soldiers. What this does is different, but I'm going to make them all work for me now. And what they do is offer you these cards, and you can pick one of them out your deck. I'm going to take Crimson Knuckles, deals 4 damage, and on hit, we deal 3 bleeding and also steal gold from our opponent. It's a great way to gather a little bit of gold. So we lost about half our health during that fight. So I'm going to use these campsites to heal back up again before we peace out. So this is the last time you go to Bright Candle, by the way. So this is the last time you really get to stock up. We're going to go to talk to Consul Evelyn before. I'm just going to skip through the story stuff. She gives us a bit of gold. We can go talk to the merchant, see what he has to offer us. So Venomancing. This combat, your basic attacks deal additional damage equal to the poison on your target. So this card combined with Carnage, combined with Festering Wounds, really, really cool combo, because The Carnage makes our attacks do bleeding, then the Festering Wounds converts the bleeding into poison, and then this card makes our basic attacks deal more damage equal to the poison our opponents have. So those three combined, crazy cool combo. Really funny that we actually found them all like that really smoothly in a row. That's maybe the kind of stuff that wouldn't jump out to you at first when you're first playing, but stuff like that, super crazy combo. Because this game's all about adding like 1 + 1 + 1 is 10, right? It's you need your damage to go up like exponentially at some point, and if you just combine the right cards together, it just goes absolutely crazy. Again, we're sticking to the core levels here, the OG levels. We're going to the Noxlight Swamp. Okay, so fight this Blighted Warrior. So one thing about the swamp, there are a lot of undead opponents here and they are immune to bleeding. So my little strategy I was just talking about there is not going to work as well here. So for instance, when I hit this guy, it's supposed to inflict 3 bleeding. But do you see his little enchantment popped up there? The bleeding was prevented. He still took the damage and everything. He just didn't take the bleeding. So yeah, sometimes certain opponents are like immune to certain things, like can't be stunned, they can't bleed, they have like fire resistance, a bunch of stuff like that. You'll learn what has what over time. I really wouldn't worry about like trying to memorize all this stuff. Yeah, just pass. I won't even play the bleeding enchantment because the guy's immune to bleeding anyhow. I'll just save myself the energy. So I'll do a fury. Do this. I will throw away this Festering Wounds. I'll hatchet and I'll Siphoning Strike on the way out. Very nice. Convert all enemy poison into bleeding. Oh, that's funny. So we could add poisoned all their bleeding and convert it back into poison. That's kind of funny, but sorry, back into bleeding. But we actually want to keep some poison going on our opponent. So Reconnaissance. I'm Sanguinary Scry. I'm gonna draw. So this now does not have ambush. You can see it's not lit up green anymore. It will still give us evasion, however. I'm just going to play this, discard this, and hit this opponent with 2 hatchets. So this guy you see has these like little fire thingies here. That means he's going to play a magic action. So that's again different from ranged and different from melee. You need very specific things to be able to block magic actions. You can't just evade them or whatever. So you're going to play Carnage, Festering Wounds, and Venomancing. So if I play this, it's going to do bleeding. It's going to inflict 2 poison whenever we inflict bleeding, and then our attacks are going to do additional damage equal to the poison on our opponent. By the way, what poison does is whenever you play a ability when you have poison on you, you take a damage basically. And there are ways of making that that like scale even higher. So rather than just doing 1 damage, it does like 5 or 10 damage. But at its base level, it's just 1. So always prioritize the opportunities. Oh, this is kind of neat. We can pick a flower, give it to Julius, and he'll give us 20 gold. How did I know that was going to happen? I've just memorized all these opportunities. I've got like 10 bajillion runs in this game. At some point, you just kind of, you know how most of them work. Carnage, Fury, Sanguine Scry. Oh, so there I used the wrong energy again. I keep on doing that. I meant to use the red energy because I needed the green energy for the adrenaline. My bad. So, Dash, Venomancing, ooh, Hatchet, Feral Strikes. Cool. Pass. So we have the 2 enchantments that one does the bleeding, one does the poison. We don't have the one in the middle that converts the damage. There it is. Boom. So how many cards are you going to play? 1, 2. Okay, is that 1 life? Can we draw the Execute card? Can we draw it? Nope. Okay, just come with Siphoning Strike. That's fine too. So level 4. So by the way, at level 4, you always get the opportunity to pick a new point of energy. So what you could do here is you could branch out into blue energy as well if you wanted to. However, just to keep things straightforward, I'm going to branch out into green or red. I feel like I'm going to go into red. No real like crazy strong feelings about it, but check the body for coin. Oh yeah, we got some free gold here for exchange. The Raven has now pecked us, and we start this combat with 5 bleeding, so we are an enemy of the Raven. This is another undead opponents. They're again immune to bleeding and stunned. I'm just gonna smack him around a little bit. I don't need no bleeding to take this guy down. Boosh. Boosh. Oh, by the way, so this last attack that our opponent plays, see how it has this keyword piercing here? This means that there is no defense you can play that will stop that from connecting. Really strong keyword. So it goes through barrier, armor, impervious, evasion, agile, swiftness, whatever it's called. It goes through everything. It's super strong. So execute you and it will sap your maximum health. Okay, our life is getting hit a little bit here, isn't it? Do I take a random rare? Yeah, I'll buy a random rare. Mental Assault. Okay, so we've now gotten a card for the Seeker class. So this is green-blue energy. We can play it because we do have green energy, but this is really for a different kind of build. Ooh, Shrine of Levity. Place a card in its hand. What this does is it makes a card cost no energy, which is obviously really good. I'm gonna put on these Crimson Knuckles. Just make it free. Well, it doesn't make it cost no energy. It makes it cost 1 energy less. And in this case, the card only costs 1 energy, so it costs no energy. I'm pretty happy mainly with the stuff we already have. Preparation is pretty cool. I'm gonna take Preparation. It's a free card where you gain 2 green energy at the start of your next turn. Not bad. Torn Cloth. So let's fight some of these Flicker Wisps. Stray Lights, I mean. So Reconnaissance. By the way, this opponent, very weird mechanic that they have. They have Ethereal. You can see how their energy health bar is like green. What it basically means is that at the end of every turn, they regain all their health, but their maximum health drops slightly. So you have to kill them all in like one big go in the same turn. So you'll see I hit them here. I'll hit them here. And they're now down to 11. I'm going to pass. Boom. It's going to go up again, but they have 5 less maximum health. Nice. So hopefully we can just kill them this turn and we don't have to sit on this for too long. Yeah, very nice. Oh, there you go. Our three enchantments working really well together there just to burst them down. By the way, pretty much every Canto has some little mini game going on in the background. The core Canto is less so than the newer ones, but in this one there's this Noxious Fog. So every single combat it adds a stack to it, and means we begin that combat with that much poison. However, you can reset it back to 0. Whenever you visit a campfire. And you kind of want to do that before you fight the boss in this area because he scales off of poison like crazy. So you really want to go to a campfire just before you fight the boss to reset the Noxious Fog to 0. We should definitely be able to do that. So let's hatch it and then devour. And we get some more maximum health. Really nice. Carving Knife. I mean, Carving Knife is actually not so bad. You know, I'm going to take it. This is a community created card, by the way. So if you guys are interested in card designing, every few months there's a community design challenge in Dawncaster where the community gets to design cards, and the 5 top voted cards get added to the game. Some of the coolest cards in the game have actually been created by the community, if you ask me. And that one, the Carving Knife, I'm like 95% sure is also a community created card. I should actually be able to check when I draw it. Or can I just go here and click on it? No, I think you can see who's made a card in the codex outside of the game. I do need to visit a campfire soon, though I am taking a lot of damage. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Lots of burning. Let's do this. Maybe I can use my Siphoning Strike. You know what, let's consume this healing potion. I keep on saying I'm going to use it at some point. Oh, I can't trigger the Frenzy in here, though, so I'm just going to go ahead and execute this guy. Gain some maximum health. That feels good, too. Opportunity, Sudden Insight. Oh, we get free 10 maximum health. That's really nice. I'm gonna go to this campsite. I'm gonna heal up. These frogs are really freaking annoying because they have this deadly attack here where they deal damage equal to 1/3 of their current health, which is obviously can be quite a lot of damage. So here we're gonna get bopped for 13. Yeah, if you play in higher difficulties, this guy just one-shots you. It is embarrassingly strong. So I'll play this Carving Knife. This knife, what this gives us access to is it is both an equipment. So this also goes down here in the enchantment bar. However, you see how it has a little number here? That's how many times I can activate it before it depletes. So I'm going to click on this, and what it's going to let me do is select a totem. So totems, this is kind of a more advanced hunter play style, but this lets you like dip into them slightly. Dawncaster is amazing for creating like hybrid builds. So you get to pick one of the 4 totems. I'm going to pick the totem that gives me anger. So I'm going to play this, and at the start of turn, I'm always going to gain 1 anger. Well, always. I mean, for the rest of this combat. And then I'm going to pass. So he's going to deadly attack us again, or he doesn't actually have the energy to do it. All he's going to do is heal himself. So we gain 1 anger from the totem. So I'm going to click on this again. It's going to go down 1 stack. When it depletes, it just disappears for the rest of combat. I'll have it again next combat, but for the rest of this combat, it will be gone. Boom, 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 boom. Ooh, our damage scaling is so good when we have all the enchantments going on. So later on, you know how like right now I have to replay the enchantments at the beginning of every single combat? Later on in the game, you can just imbue them and then they'll be permanently attached to you at the start of every fight. So you don't need to reapply them all the time. And if you can imbue, like let's say we got to imbue all 3 of those enchantments, we just start every fight with our full synergies like popping off. Really, really fun. I'm just gonna throw one of these away and I'm gonna pass, just save my energy for later. Oh yeah, unspent energy, if you haven't noticed, just stays on you. It doesn't disappear at the end of turn or anything. So reconnaissance to draw a card. What do I get? Get you, I guess. Smack you with this. Can this mentalist? Oh yeah, the synergies. Crazy. The synergies were popping off. I'm gonna go to this blacksmith, upgrade everything. Oh, so there's the final boss of the Canto. I'm not gonna fight him yet. I'm gonna fight these other people first. Maybe I can get another level up before I continue on here. So I'm gonna dash. I'll play the carving knife to gain more anger. That's not what I'm all about here. I'm gonna draw. Discard the reconnaissance to have more energy later. Swing out at this guy. So we've got 2 evasions. We can block his attacks here. Very nice. And nothing connects. Feels really good. I'll activate this again. Surge of Strength, Preparation, Carnage Knuckles. Okay, so now we do not have any evasion, so we're going to get hit in the face here a little bit. Ouch. And he gets Impervious as well because we attacked him with a melee attack last turn, which is what this ability does. I'm going to do this, get some more anger. Can I execute you here? Yes, I have Exact Seize. Boom! More maximum health for me. Feels very good. No cards there that I want. I'll fight this troll. So this guy's pretty sturdy. This is like the mini boss of this level. Actually, some levels like this have 2 mini bosses, and which one you're going to fight is just random. So there's this mini boss, and there's also one that is a big like mega slime who constantly increases his maximum health, which is brutal fight. Honestly, I would say it's probably one of the hardest fights in the game, especially relative to where it is in the game, because at this point, some builds can just not really compete with that much maximum health and the constant healing he does. It's a brutal fight. That's one of the fights where I would say it's sometimes worth skipping if you just can't kill him. What I'm gonna do here, let's get some Siphoning Strike. Okay, very good. Okay, we have all of our enchantments going on, so I think in the next turn or so we should be able to burst this guy down to some crazy damage before he bursts us with his deadly attacks. That'd be really good. So let's do this again. Let's gain some more anger. Let's Feral Strike you. Oh yeah, oh yeah. You see how much damage we're doing? Oh, yes, yes. Tasty synergy. So, like I said, I'm going to go to this campsite. I'm going to reset the Noxious Fog. I'm going to heal up, and now I'm going to fight. Well, you know, let me actually just heal up here too. Let me heal up to full. So we have our weapon talent on. We're pretty much full. The Noxious Fog is at 0, so his attacks will not scale off of poison as easily as they usually do. I mean, he can just he can obviously like put poison on us. Like it's not like he doesn't have any opportunity to do that, but it means he has to do it now first before he can do anything to us. So for instance, this first ability he's going to use, it says if the target is 5 or more poison, inflict a critical hit. We obviously had removed all the poisons. It was not able to critically hit us there, which feels really good. Yeah, now we're smacking him back. Ouch. Ouch. So yeah, see, he took like a third of our life there in a single turn. It's just so brutal. Very strong opponent. But yeah, but we've got the crazy synergies, so we got him. Okay, what do we want to do here? I don't want Berserker. Lionheart's a pretty good defensive ability. I might just take Brute Force. Your melee actions inflict stagger equal to the damage it deals. Stagger is basically like, let's say an opponent has 10 stagger, they take 5 damage at the start of their turn and stagger half. So it basically does half the damage and then reduce itself by half. It's just sort of like delayed damage. This is really good. It just really helps us push our damage. Nothing I need here. So lots of lore stuff you can learn by talking to this guy, and however, the most important thing is he gets recruited to our cause and he joins our party, and then we can take him and he will help us imbue enchantments. What I'm going to try and do here for funsies, I'm going to try and transmute this mental assault to see if we get something cool. Oh wow, we got blood magic. Convert the energy cost of all cards remaining in your deck to blood until play. That's really good. It basically means we don't have to pay any energy for like one full cycle through our deck. We're just paying life instead. Quick adaptation's cool too, though. You can permanently replace a card in your deck with one of your opponents. You can like steal cards from them. I'm just gonna take blood magic for now. That's a really funny find. So again, we're going to core levels, the Ember Mines. I'm not doing the add-on stuff quite yet. So the boss of this level, Serena Hellspark. So here's the enchanter. It costs 100 gold to imbue an enchantment. So if you want to imbue something, do not go talk to Bulgar until you have 100 gold is basically the trick. Carnage, let's do this. Very good. So this is stagger, by the way, this thing up here, the little muscle dude. Start of your turn, take damage equal to half your stagger and reduce your stagger by an equal amount. Really, really nice little delayed damage thing. Words coming out my mouth. So he's just gonna get killed by the stagger here. Yeah, really nice. Really, really nice. I love it. Activate our weapon talent. Ooh, 156 health. Very chunky. So I'm gonna play all these enchantments. And boom, we got our scaling going. So now we have bleeding doing damage. We have poison doing damage. We have our attack scale off of the poison our opponent, and we're doing the stagger damage. So we're hitting our opponent from like so many angles here. Oh, look at how we're shredding through them. I'm gonna pass through here now. He's gonna die to the stagger. Boom, dead. Amazing. I love it. Is there something I want from here? No, that's fine. Blacksmith is here again. Go to this campsite. I'm actually gonna remove adrenaline. I don't need this anymore. I don't really need this anymore. Okay, we still gotta watch out though, because there are definitely some nasty opponents here. By the way, these guys have this funny little thing, Amber Infusion. If you kill them quickly enough, the cards they will offer you in the post-combat rewards are all pre-upgraded. So this is a really good spot to get like pre-upgraded cards. So you can get a card that already has like 8 upgrades applied to it, which otherwise would cost a ton of gold to do. So really, really cool. So let's hatchet this guy, hatchet this guy. Boom, pass. Guess he's gonna hurt us a bunch here. Ouch. He reduces his infusion over time, so the slower you are to kill him, the fewer rewards you're gonna get out of this. But I should be able to kill him here. Yeah, very nice. Crazy strong we are. So yeah, you see how these are all like pre-upgraded now? These should normally do a lot less. Yeah, you can see +7 upgrades. Do I want any of these though? I'm actually gonna take this Crushing Blows. It deals 14 damage, frenzy, gain red energy, and draw a card. Because we're probably not gonna be paying much for our energy because we have that blood magic card now. A card like that just kind of cycles itself for free, which means you play it and you just redraw a new card for free. Mysterious Crates, if you go continue here and you leave, you get this talent called Emporium Discount, which means that the merchant will now sell you cards for free. Well, sell you for free. He gives them to you for free because you've basically taken his bribe. Very naughty. The Crimson Knuckles, we're gonna draw out the Sanguine Scrying, Fury, Battle Cry, let's do some Feral Strike. Oh, we can kill this guy turn 1, easy. Very nice. Incredible. Nah, I'm fine. Don't need anything there. Opportunity. Ooh, Pot-Bellied Imp. This is a really, really fun opportunity. If he had Sure-Let Steal, he takes 20 of your maximum health, but he imbues an enchantment for free. Ooh, Savagery. This combat gain red energy whenever you deliver a Crushing Strike. A Crushing Strike means an individual hit that does 10 or more damage. We're going to be doing a lot of those. I'm very happy to pay 20 maximum health for that. Because basically every single time we hit do 10 or more damage, you get a red energy. Kind of means that we can sort of go almost like infinite with our energy, which is just crazy. Also, I mean, we're just like, we're going off. We're doing well. We're having a great time. Let's see, can I just Siphoning Strike? You know, I'm gonna gain some maximum health back. We also have a ton of maximum health to give away anyhow, basically, because we're executing all these people, doing a bunch of crazy stuff. Shrine of Stability. Oh, this is pretty cool. We can give, offer a card to the shrine, and basically what it does is it makes it reliable. Reliable means that if the card has a condition like flanking or frenzy or ambush, the condition is always met even if you haven't actually met the condition, if that makes sense. So what I'm going to do, for instance, is I'm going to put it on, what am I going to put it on? I'm going to put it on Battle Cry. So no matter, even if I haven't hurt myself, the frenzy condition is always active, which is really, really helpful. Bear Trap. Let's actually try and remove a card here. You know, I got rid of the Siphoning Strike. Oh yeah, the Collector's bouncing around, isn't he? Okay, so for the Collector, I actually want to see if I can find a legendary card to give to him, because if you give the Collector a legendary card in return, he will what does he do? He will give you a free random talent, which is really, really nice. Boom, 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 and crush. So there he says Savagery kept on returning energy to us, and we just kind of went like infinite there for a moment, which is really nice. So I'm gonna go to the Enchanter. I'm gonna imbue an enchantment, and I'm gonna imbue Carnage. Every time you imbue an enchantment, the next one costs 50 more gold. So you paid 100 for that one, the next one's 150, 200, etc., etc. You can do maths. Boom, 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 boom. Slap, 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 slap. I love these multi-hit builds, like basic attacks that can hit multiple times. It just feels so good. So dash, frenzy, hatchet. You're gonna pass. Okay, so no. Battle Rush upgrade the first melee action you play each combat. Sure, that's pretty good. I'll take that. Activate my weapon power. Go to this opportunity. I'll bottle the water, why not? I get a little panacea action. This shrine, what can I do? Shuffle all energy, shuffle all upgrades. I'm actually kind of happy with how my deck is looking right now. So Trapped in Amber, I'm just gonna skip this. Ooh, so here's the little mini boss for this area. This guy can be pretty nasty. He basically, every time he takes damage, he stacks up anger, and then all of his abilities like do a multi-hit. So his anger is like basically just goes way off the charts. However, if you manage to get to a certain level, like 6 anger, that all the anger is removed and he does a bit of damage to you instead. So here he's got 4. I'm gonna play this, it'll hit him twice. Goes up to 6 anger and the anger is removed again. He has 0 anger. And now he's not as scary anymore. Because that ability he displayed, Unload Aggression, deal 1 damage, repeat this attack for every point of anger, the removal anger. If he had like 5 anger, he would hit 5 times and each of them would do 6 damage. And that would really suck for me because I would probably die. Boom. Execute you, take some of your maximum health. So, Lost Journal, story events, Collector, still nothing good for you. So here you can basically choose which boss you want to fight here. I'm gonna go to the right amber, take the amber, put it in my pocket, go forward, force my way through, break some gold free. And then here at this fight with Serena Hellspark, you can reach for the crystal in your pocket, and then if you give into the bloodlust, you will fight the priestess, and if you focus on the faults of pride instead, you will fight the succubus. And then you can choose if you want to recruit the priestess or the succubus, depending if you're a divine or a corrupted build. One or the other will make a lot more sense. We are neither corrupted nor divine, so it doesn't really matter which one we take. But yeah, you get benefits regardless. So this opponent's really nasty. She has this thing where at the start of your turn, set your foes dominated to 3. That basically means for the first 3 actions I play every turn, she gets to pick which cards I play. So you see how these are all red? I can't play them. However, this one I can play. And funnily enough, she's actually picked the one item that can cleanse the dominated. So I'm going to play this, boof, and the other dominated is going to disappear. So that was pretty damn lucky. This can be a really nasty fight because you can't really avoid any of her damage because it all has piercing. And then she's always like dominating you and doing nasty things like that. And it's also really annoying for combo builds and the likes because she really messes up the order in which you play your cards. Ooh, taking a lot of damage. Okay, so what do we do here? Yes, I'm gonna play this. Hatchet does a lot. Slap you with that. Ooh, very nice. Yeah, okay. I got my scaling to pop off there. Battle Vigor is a pretty good card, but I already have a lot of enchantments I want to imbue. So here, I can either recruit her or banish her. I am going to recruit her. To me, there's no downside. If you are a divine build and you recruit the succubus, that can really have some pretty bad downsides I'll let you discover on your own, which are kind of funny. I'm going to transmute this carving knife upwards, actually, and just give it to the collector just to show you guys this. If I go to the collector, I hit hand over card, and I give them a legendary card like this essential oils, he'll give me a free random talent. So it gave me Keen Mind. That's really good. Keen Mind just lets me draw an extra card per turn. Really happy with that. So I'm gonna buy some cards here. The reason, by the way, the reason I can buy cards here is because I took the merchant's bribe earlier, which means that not only will he give me 1 free card per Canto, but at the campsites I can now buy cards for free as well, which is really cool. Okay, so we're going into the deep, the next core Canto. Okay, we're gonna fight a bunch of octopus people, drowned witches and the likes. So Fury, Sanguine's Crying. Bam. Man, these guys are squishy as hell. We are so strong. I'll take the Sharpening Stone. I'll upgrade some basics. I love upgrading basics. Okay, the Enchanter's bouncing around again. I've got enough gold to imbue something. So next opportunity I get, I will go visit him and imbue something. No, I don't want to do that. Trancing Song. Oh, this is one of the bad opportunities where no matter which option you pick, they all are kind of bad for you. So the opponents here all have really weird tricky abilities, but I will say this should be a pretty easy Canto for us because our build is kind of bursty, and most of the opponents here, they kind of benefit from you being a slower build. So we actually have a pretty easy fight in this Canto. So here I'm going to imbue an enchantment, put in the Festering Wounds, and then the last imbue we need to do is Venomancing, and then we have like the Holy Trinity to make our build pop off, which is really fun. Yeah, these guys are all just like getting absolutely melted. Upward. Oh, okay. This was a trap opportunity. So now we're fighting against a Mimic. What Mimics basically do is they remove cards from your deck, and if you don't manage to kill them in 3 or 4 turns, they just run away with your cards and they are gone. So yeah, you gotta watch out with these guys. If you're playing a slow build, this can generally like be the end of your run. It's pretty brutal. But let's execute him here, get some of his health. Ooh, I'll take another Sanguine's Crying. Yeah, I love them. Oh, so here's the succubus that we recruited. If you click on her, what you can do is you can either remove enchantments, but you can also give her puppets. And do you remember earlier we recruited the bandits in the wood? We can now give her the bandits. What we could also do is give her the merchant or the collector. However, if you give them to her, they're gone for the rest of the run. What this does is you gain a random talent. So I'm gonna give her the bandits because they don't do anything else besides being fodder for her. I got Sanctifier, that's pretty good. So my actions deal additional damage to undead and demons equal to my level. That's really good. Ooh, a Sanguine's Crying, 10 maximum health. So what I can basically do here is make a certain card cost no energy. I'm trying to think what might be good here. Crushing Blow would be really good actually, because now this costs no energy, and also because it costs health. Well, it costs health instead of energy. It'll trigger its own frenzy condition. So that's really nifty. So here's another ethereal opponent. Let's see if I can just burst through her. That's kind of what we would do ideally here. Burst. Burst. Yeah, very good. Okay, we need to find a legendary to give to this collector. Play you. Let's upgrade the next basic. Slap you with that. Pass! Ouch. How's our health doing? We're okay. Not amazing. Execute. Yeah, very nice. Lots of Sharpening Stones. I don't think I've ever had this many Sharpening Stones in a single run. We also wanted to remove that greed. That'd be good to get rid of. Octorate. Yeah, these guys feel downright squishy compared to the last Canto. Let's play you. They are downright squishy. Very nice. Bad Apple. That's another community card, the Bad Apple. Pretty cool card. Cursed Kraken, little mini boss here. This guy can be pretty annoying too if you don't kill him fast enough. I mean, I think that's just true of most opponents actually. In general, fights in Dawncaster, I would say usually, especially boss fights, usually have some kind of like time condition. If you don't kill them fast enough, their scaling goes out of control. So you can't really dawdle around forever. Very nice. +1 health. So, mobility is pretty good. Don't want Thundering Strikes. That's okay. Fire immunity, immune to burning. That's like okay. Mobility, whenever you gain evasion, gain 2 haste. I only really have 1 source of evasion. Fury cards get additional anger equal to your strength. I'll take that. It's even better on a warrior because they have even more strength than I do. Okay, let's do this. Let's make everything cost blood. Certainly turn 1 kill this guy, right? Yeah, easy. Yeah, with all our enchantments up and running, we are a disgusting beast. Can I get a free legendary here to give to the collector? What about here? Yes! I mean, that would also be a good card to just keep, to be honest. But I just want to get the free talents. I just love the YOLO element. You never know what you're going to get. Boosh! Inoculation! Okay, that was definitely worse than just keeping that card for myself. What Inoculation does is it, at the start of your turn, cleanse all poison. Really, really good in that poison Canto we were earlier. Now that we're already past it, it's like so useful. But yeah, still cool to have. So let's get Crushing Blow. Okay, let's play all our cards out, set ourselves up for success. Can we turn 1 kill this boss? Absolutely. Oh my god, our synergies. Our synergies. Okay, story stuff. So, next I'm gonna go to the core, the final Canto. Well, not really. I guess the final boss counts as the final Canto, but this is the final Canto before the final boss. So I do need to be a little bit careful with my health here. I feel like I'm playing a little bit loosey-goosey. I'm only at like 1/3 of my health. I've played this game a lot. I know what I'm doing, but still, I feel like I'm kind of trolling a little bit. That's wouldn't that be embarrassing if I died in the tutorial video I'm trying to make? Hey guys, this is how you play Dawncaster, or this is how you don't play Dawncaster, I guess. Opportunity. Can't do that encounter without enough dexterity, I know that. Ooh, more health. Okay, now we're at 20 health. I'm actually gonna go to this campsite and heal a bit. That would be nice. Ooh, so by the way, this Canto is quite unique in the sense that it has 3 mini bosses. They have 3 seals: the Seal of Chaos, the Seal of Hatred, and the Seal of Agony. You need to defeat all 3 to unlock the final boss. Each of these seals is active during each fight, and they all have detrimental effects. So this one gives you a random affliction at the start of turn. This one buries a card in your deck, which means it removes it for the rest of that combat. And this one makes all your cards cost blood energy, in addition to their normal energy. So yeah, lots to watch out for there. But does this kill him? I mean, he's gonna die at the beginning of his turn anyhow, but I'm trying to execute him. Yeah, Styra's gonna get him though. Very nice. Okay, so that's 1 seal down. As you can see, that seal up here is now gone golden, and now it's been turned into an aspect, which at the start of turn gives us 1 ward. So every single opponent that you kill here, well, not every single opponent, every single like mini boss that you kill here will make the subsequent fights easier, because you get these, you don't only, not just removing the seals, you're also adding these aspects. Is there something I want to try and convert here? Nah, I'm good. Ooh, a Summon Baylor, 666 health, not bad. So I'm gonna do this. This guy has a bunch of armor, doesn't he? I need to get through that armor first. Yeah, easy. Try and get the execute. Did not get it. Sad. Body of Steel. This comic can refight. That's pretty good, but I don't really need it right now. Let's take down another one of these mini bosses so we can get rid of the Seal of Chaos. Super annoying. Let's see. Let's get Venomancing. Let's get you. Get our scaling poppin'. Yeah, scaling. And the stagger will kill them. Yeah, that brute force talent, so much damage. That is crazy. Okay, go for the opportunity again when you see them. Ooh, a bit of free gold, that's nice. Okay, I'll take down the High Priest of Hatred. If we can get a 200 gold again, by the way, we can view our third enchantment. So let's draw. Let's do this. Let's draw. I think we can turn one, kill this guy as well, can't we? Yeah, easy. Oh, that's synergy. That's synergy, people. Disgusting. Okay, Summon Balar is a scary fight. Let's go to this Window of Wisdom. By the way, if you go to these windows, what they do is they give you a little buff for the next fight you go into. Let's upgrade you. And there's 3 of them, and if you hold off, you can use all 3 of them to go fight the final boss, which just gives you a huge buff when you're fighting, well, the final boss, Dante. However, I kind of felt like I had to go prematurely use one of them there because I didn't want to fight either opponent. Dun, 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 dun. So what do we do here? We reconnaissance. We just smack them, right? Yeah, beautiful. So tough bones. Shadow Dancer ambush is always active. That's great, but we're not really an ambush build, so it's not that useful. Whenever we deal a critical hit, gain 3 health. Oh, Insatiable Curiosity or Stalker, both very good. Insatiable Curiosity is better though. For where we're at right now, draw 2 additional cards. Really good. I'll fight the Risen Dreadlord. This is a fight you have to do twice, by the way. Okay, you have to kill him once, and then he arises a second time, and then you have to fight him again. It's very sneaky like that. Not that it's much of a problem, as you can see. And slam! This isn't over. Oh, I think it is. There he is again. Da-da-da-da. So do that. Slap you with that. Put this at the top. Hatchet, 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 hatchet. Slap. Okay, okay. You get a turn. You get a turn. Adding naughty cards to our deck. That's very rude. I'll hit you with this Knuckles. Boom, boom, boom. Easy win. Whirling Strikes can be kind of interesting, but no, I'm fine. Summon Balar. Okay, 666 health. Big chunky boy. So this is an interesting fight. He's a big chunky guy, and you only have X amount of turns to kill him. So on normal, you have 3 turns to kill him. As the difficulties go up, you have more and more turns to kill him, but he also, like, his health pool just goes off like crazy. Let's take this hatch and put it on top. So if we manage to execute this guy, we would get a ton of maximum health because the execute from the Devour Vitality scales off of your opponent's maximum health. So let's see if we can line that up. Hatchet, 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 hatchet. Could be a little bit tricky here. So we do have to get him really low. Oh, nope, we overkilled him. We're too strong. It's fine, we're too strong. Ooh, another sharpening stone. I love my sharpening stones. Okay, so we have a ton of gold. We're going to view an enchantment. I'm going to put Venomancing on myself. So now we have all 3 of the good enchantments. I'm also going to give her the Collector and see what we get. Boomerang, that's pretty cool. What that does is the first basic attack you played turns return to your hands. You're just going to play it twice. And we love basic attacks. So I'm going to go to these 2 last windows and then go enter the Sanctum. Because we defeated all the mini bosses, we're going to leave the Sanctum, which leads us to the final battle against Dante. So here is the final battle. This realm is his, he thinks. So this guy has a bunch of crazy shit going on. I'm just going to tell you not to worry about it. We've got this. I believe in you. I believe in me. We can do this. Can we turn 1 kill him even? That's what I'm wondering. I think we can. Oh yeah, easy turn 1 kill. Okay, our build was popping. Our build was easy popping. That was great. Okay, so I hope that helped explain a few of the mechanics about Dawncaster, helped you understand the game a little bit better. Again, my number one recommendation is turn off all the card packs besides core and core extended. Stick to the core levels for your first few ones. The other levels are so much more complicated and the opponent's so much weirder. Once you've done a few runs like that and you feel like gotten to grips with all the basics, progress, you know, try the other stuff out. Activate one pack at a time. Look what cards are in those packs, see what they do. Think about how you could make them mesh with the stuff you're unlocking on the reward track, and just have fun. This is like an amazing game for experimentation. The more experience you get, you can start like doing hybrid builds with like 2 or 3 sub classes, like mixing together. You can do builds where you have every energy type. You can do builds where you're focused entirely on playing your opponent's cards, doing lots of silly stuff like that. So yeah, I hope this helped you guys. Again, I really hope you enjoy the Steam release of this game. Super fun game. I've been playing it now for like 2.5 years every single day. It's so good. I'm just so happy I got this like PC Steam release. And you're playing the best version of this game, the best it's ever been. The amount of quality of life improvements it's received over the last few months in preparation for the Steam release has been immense. So shout out to the devs there as well. And yeah, I hope to see you guys in the Discord and the Reddit. Ask me questions in the comments, just whatever. I have a million guides on every build possible almost. And, you know, just have fun. I'll see you guys next time, okay? Bye.